Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoe and in today's video I want to talk about all the books that I have read in August. I hope you are ready because I'm not. I read so many books I don't know where to start. I know where to start, but grab a coffee, wine, tea, whatever you want, and I hope I don't talk too much. The first book that I've read was the first book that I started August with, and this was The Chase from L. Kennedy, and I'm sorry to say that, but I hate this book. Not really hate it, I gave it 2 stars. This book was the reason why I stopped reading romance books. I hate the trope that L. Kennedy chose for this, and I mean you get to know that the characters, Fitz and Summer, like each other. Summer says in the first chapter that she likes Fitz, and Fitz says in the second chapter that he likes Summer. But because of miscommunication, where Fitz says to a friend of his and says that he don't want to get together or go on a date with Summer because she's this rich blonde girl and he's not rich. He's a gamer and who produces video games and is this hockey player. He don't want to go on a date with her, and she hears that, and this literally happens in the second chapter. And then you read 300 pages of this situation where they don't get... It was frustrating to read that. Okay, I think there are so many possible ways in this book why they can't have been together or go on a date that were more possible than this, and I get so annoyed from Fitz because I like the characters by herself but I don't like them together. You know what I mean? I mean literally in every chapter you can read, oh, she's so rich and blonde and wears this expensive clothes and bags, and I'm just a gamer and I'm not rich. Like this, please Fitz, put yourself together and don't be a dick. There's no problem that you are not that rich like the girl you like. You make problems where no problems are. So yeah, this was a no for me. I want to read The Risk next, and I hope this is better, and we will see. But 2 stars. The next book that I finished was Serpent Dove from Shelby Maroon. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. What can I say? I gave it 3 stars. I have mixed feelings about that. I don't really get the magic system. So Lou is this witch and she wants to hide herself from people, and she knows that she's a witch. This is not that she just discovered in Serpent Dove. She knew this since birth, that she's a witch. So I don't really get why she don't know anything. She do basic magic, and when she tries to explain herself why she do this or how this works, she just says, oh, I don't know how this works. I do this all my life and I'm doing this now. So it's okay to not explain in the first book how the magic system works. I think there are so many books out there where the magic system gets explained more in the second or third book. Depends on how much books are in the series. But I think this was just such a lazy way to say, oh yeah, I don't know this, so I don't explain it to you. Because this pissed me so off, because she knows that she's a witch. When she just discovered that she's a witch, I had no problem with that because she didn't know it. You know what I mean? But she knows it. I actually liked the love story ended with the witch hunter, but not in the beginning. It has a special trope, and the reason why this happens was so dumb, and this will not happen if the patriarch is such a high social thing in our world. And this pissed me off a little bit, but in the end they really vibed with each other, and I really liked how they progressed this love story in the book. So this was a 3 stars for me, just for the ending and for the love story. If this would not happen like that, I wouldn't read the next books. But here we are, I have Blood and Honey in my TBR. Then the next book that I read was, I listened to this as an audiobook. This was The Final Girl Support Group from Grady Hendrix, and I gave this 3 stars. He built the story up really well. In the beginning I get a little bit of a high anxiety because how he describes how the woman in the story tried to defend herself. So this is something that's really realistic in our society, in our world, that a woman needs this kind of protection from other people, especially men. So I get that, but I don't really like in the story that you get not really known to the main character of the story. You just figure out more and more how the story progresses, and I don't like this in books when you don't really get to know the main character, especially when you're reading about this character only or this perspective. If there are more perspective in that, I get it why you get not really known to this character, but yeah, and then the ending, yeah, I don't know, I don't like how this turned out in the end. So this was a 3 stars for me. The next one is City of Brass from C.A. Chakraborty. I had a hard time to get into the story. I gave it at the end 3.5 stars because of it, because I had such a hard time to find the story. I think it needed 170 pages to where I actually started to enjoy the story, and I had a hard time with it. There are many words in it that I don't really know, so this was, I think, a problem on my side, not really on the book. I mean, this is not I read it not in my native language, so if I don't know the words, that's my problem, okay? Not the book's problem. But after that, after I get to this kind of world building situation, I started to enjoy this book. I really liked Nari as the main character. I really liked her, and I liked this little kind of love story that's built up. And I'm excited to read Kingdom of Copper next. This lays also on my TBR, and yeah, I listened to this also as an audiobook, and I mainly listened to this as an audiobook in the end, and this audiobook was really good. I heard some people say that they who speaks this audiobook say some words wrong, but I don't know the words, so I can't really tell you that, but I enjoyed the audiobook of it, so this helps me a lot to get through this book. Then the next book that I read was Honey Girl from Morgan Rogers. I ended up giving this also 3 stars, I think. Or was it 3.5? 3.5. Count this as a 3 star. I like the story from Grace, but only the story from Grace. You follow Grace when she gets her doctorate in astronomy, and she is at this point in her life where she only works so far and for her degrees and never gets enough, how does it called, credit, accomplishment from her father and her family. She always did not enough for it. Her family wants to be a doctor and in medicine and not in astronomy, so she had this really high pressure on her and try to figure out what she really wants in her life. And I like the story that you follow in her to get mentally stable. But what I don't like in the story is this marriage. I think I didn't need it. So if you read this on the back, it's kind of read like a good romance where she marries drunk a woman in Las Vegas, and then they try to figure out how they live in this marriage. But this marriage was not the main focus in the story, but was not bad in the end, because I actually more enjoyed the story from Grace herself. But I didn't need this marriage trope. You could get rid of it, and nothing's changed in the story. I think the marriage was only the start for the journey that Grace goes through, and I think there were such more ways how she get through this journey without being married in Las Vegas drunk to a woman. The next book that I read was Wicked King from Holly Black. I give this 4 stars. If you watch my vlog, I give an overview of my thoughts while reading it, and what I can say is I love the world that is built up. I love the political structure that Holly Black describes, and I really like Jude as a main character. In the first book I didn't really like her, and I was not a big fan of her, but in the second book she gets to a really bad bitch mode, and I really enjoyed this to reading. But my first thought was flexible because of the law story. I started reading this because I want a good enemies to lovers romance, and I'm at a point to say, because I read the third book and the last book too, that this is not a good enemies to lovers book. You don't get romance in it. I think there's one little scene in the first book, one little scene in the second book, and then in the third book, yeah, there's more going on, but that's not really the main focus in the story. So whoever recommends this to me as a good enemies to lovers, go to hell, because it's not. So, but I really like the political part of it. So because it fits in there, I also read the third book, Queen of Nothing. If you watch my September TBR, you will probably know that I talk about this book in my September TBR. Accidentally, I read it last week because I was so hyped. I want to finish the series, and yeah, Wicked Kings, Queen of Nothing. I think I gave 4 stars. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. 4 stars. There's happening some things in the book. Yeah, it was okay. How the end turned out, I kind of expected it. Not how she describes it, but I expected the end okay. And yeah, I'm done with the series. Overall, I can say it was good. It was a good YA fantasy book series. For that, the political thing in it was really good. It was not good, not a good romance, in my opinion. There's much more better books out there with better romance in a book. But if you really want to have a badass character to read about it, this is something for you. And I'm done with another series. I read this one. I will not talk about this really much because this is a German book and you can only read this in German or Russian. But I give it 4 stars. It's Die Krone der Dunkelheit von Laura Kneidl. I really enjoyed the story. It's something I missed a little bit in the story, that you don't get really known to the character. You get a lot of character views from different characters that all have an important story to tell, and I like that in the end all get to one point, like a red string to the story, even though the different characters have different motivations in the story. And I really like it, and I'm excited to read the next book in September. But yeah, 4 stars for me, and I'm sorry that it's not translated in English. In my 48 readathon, I read People We Meet on Vacation from Emily Henry. I love this book. I give it 5 stars. I think this is the first time in a long time that I get give a romance book a high rating. I really enjoyed the story from Alex and Poppy. This was such a realistic story. This is friends to lovers, and I love the friends to lovers trope, because I don't get enemies to lovers. I'm sorry to say that, but I know how difficult it is to get from a friend to a lover, because you don't want to ruin a friendship. And I get really the story. It was realistic. You follow also Poppy at a point in her life, also like in Honey Girl, where she don't know if that what she does in her life is the right thing to do. And you not only follow the relationship between her and Alex, you also follow her own journey, and I like it. I really like it. I think this is one of my favorites of the year. Then the next book that I read in the 38 hours readathon was Concrete Road from Angie Thomas, and I also gave this book 5 stars. This was really good. I read this in one sitting. I kid you not. I started this reading while I was on sprint on the Citadel, and when they asked me, oh, how far you in the book, and I was like, I'm done with it. It was such a good reading. You follow Maverick, who is a 17-year-old boy who has made some dumb decisions, and I really like to see how this character progresses and how he tries to figure out what he wants to do with his life and how he do something, and I really enjoyed the story from him. One thing I can say is I don't like the German translation of it, because they keep some English words, and this was really different to read. I don't like it, so this is not a problem from Angie Thomas. This is a problem from the German translation. Then we got to Wuthering Heights from Emily Bronte. I DNF'd this book. It was bad. Okay, it was not that. I can't say that's bad because I read only 6% of it. I think I read 40 pages and then I was okay. I'm done with it. I don't like the story. I don't get it. I don't know. In the beginning, the first thing that I like in the story was that you follow a character, but you follow the character in the first person perspective, and this is something that I did not read often in a classic, in an old classic book, and I was first excited, and then I don't get which character this was. Who was that? Who was this person that I first read about? I thought this was about this kind of guy and this girl. I just only want to read this because Bella and everyone likes this, and I don't like it. I read Red Dream's Descent. This was also the book that with that I finished my reading goal of 2021. Woo! This was my 80th book. Yeah, what can I say? I get through this book really quick, but I don't know about it. I first gave this book 4 stars because I like the ending, but I changed my rating to 3 stars because I don't care for this book. I like the story from Kalia and this other guy, Macro. I don't know. I enjoy the story, but not that much. I don't think I will pick up the second book. I can't really say about it what I like in this book and what's not. Yeah. The next book that I read is a surprise. I surprised myself when I was done with it. It's Glass Road from Victoria Aveyard. Don't get confused about this cover. This is the German cover, and I think it's ugly. Even if you see the English cover, it looks so good, and this is trash. But okay, I give this 5 stars. I really like the story, how it's going. The first one, yes, it was. I had a hard time get into the story from Red Queen, but the ending was really, really good. It take a plot twist that I didn't expect. And in the second book, if you're not liking world building, heavy world building, when they travel around to do something, I don't want to explain it further because I think it's a spoiler. But if you don't like this is not for you. But I really enjoy this. It started really action-packed, and I was kind of exhausted because I think, oh my god, I can read about 500 pages about this action going on. But then it stopped after 100 pages, and this was good. And I really just enjoyed the story, how they progressed. I really liked Mare as a character. I didn't like her in the first book, but I was so hyped when I realized that she gets to this morally grey character that everyone seems not to know anymore because she was so different from the beginning. And you read it and it gets really dark at some point, and I'm liking it. And I buy the third and the fourth book, and I will not wait again 8 months to read the next book. I need to hold myself back to not start immediately the next book because I have such a high TBR for September. That's full, okay? I can switch things around. But I want to read my TBR prior too. So, but this is good. I hope that the story keeps going at the end. Oh my god, I was at work and I was like, I was breathless for I think 5 minutes. I was like, The final book, I'm going to talk about this very much. When I'm honest with you, I finished this on the 1st of September, but it was 10 minutes after midnight, okay? I will not wait to a whole month to review this to you guys, so this still counts.
Du musst damit auf deinem persönlichen Gerät fortfahren.
This still counts to August, okay? We ignore that I finished this on the 1st of September. So this is Midnight Chronicles. This is the third book of the Midnight Chronicles series. This is also a book you can only read in German, so I don't talk that much about it. I was bored in the first beginning of the book, then it got a big plot twist I didn't expect, and then it was good. I think I gave it 4 stars. I don't know, I have a problem with Bianca Ivashina's writing style. I don't really like it. I like Laura Cornelius more because I read more from her and I enjoy the story from her. But yeah, I don't know about this one, but now I'm really hyped to read the next book. So there are 3 books still coming and I'm excited about that. This was the video for today. I hope you had a great time watching it. I hope you have a great reading month in August and you have a full plan for September and you will read everything you want. And if you want, you can follow my channel so you don't miss any video. And in the description down below, I will link the books in it and also my social media when you want to follow me there so you don't miss anything. And then I will see you in my next video. I don't know which video this is going to be, but I will upload. Bye!